All right, here we are, the final dive of my excursion to the Azores. This is dive number 4, dive number 2 on the Dori wreck. As you can see, we got down to a depth of 66.4 feet, and the water temperature is actually a little warmer. So this was later in the week. I think I might have mentioned first 2 dives were like the day I got there, the day after I got there. This was the day before I left, so about I don't know, 8 days separated these dives. The first 2, 8 days, then the last 2. But let's take a look at the wreck site, the dive site. So I wish I had been doing this the whole time. But yeah, they've got detailed pictures of the dive sites on their website, which, by the way, the website, or the dive outfit was called Season Challenge. Little weird of a name. I don't know where it came from, but terrific outfit. Seriously, one of the best dive outfits I've ever dove with. Professional all the way around. They know their stuff. They know the dive briefings. They know the wildlife. Very easy to work with. Unlike a lot of dive shops in the United States, they are very good about electronic communication, both emails, WhatsApp. For dumb Americans like me, they're very fluent in English. Just a really great experience all the way around. After the first dive or second dive, I left my fins there. Sent an email in a panic. They had them. Picked them up a couple days later. No problems at all. Just really excellent people to work with. If you're ever in the Azores, I recommend diving with them. Season Challenge. All right. That's the plug. I did not get paid for that, I promise. But take a look at this wreck. You can see it's broken up. Pretty good. Not really a whole lot of opportunities for swim-throughs, which we didn't do anyway. But it's a big boat. I think this is drawn to scale. You can see how tiny the diver man is there right in the beginning, or right at the top, versus the rest of the boat. I guess it gets to be about 19 meters down, which is... What was that? How deep did we go? 66 feet. There you go. All right, let's get into it. This might be the familiar buoy from the first Dori wreck dive. This is seriously like not even a 5-minute boat ride from the shop. Once you get out in the open water, out of the harbor anyway. And here we go. She's already gesturing instructions with a lot of emphasis. I'm just like, whatever, man, get me down. I think I got bumped on the top of the head here, I believe. I thought I hit the boat, and no, it was somebody descending on top of me. Maybe not. Oh, I think that might have been the first one, because I'm way far away from the boat now. All these dives run together, especially since it's been a couple of weeks already. Yeah, I was kind of sinking. I don't know. I kind of descend at my own rate, I guess. It is kind of dumb to go sit on the bottom and wait for everybody, because you're burning through air faster than everybody else. I'd love to know how much air she ended with. I bet it's probably like half a tank. We got down here. Yeah, what? She might have told me to stop there, actually. I didn't see that in real time. Or at the time. When I'm descending, I'm in descent mode, Laura. There's no stopping it. Well, there is stopping it, but I'm ready to go. Let's go. It's diving time, folks. Get on down here. Still can't see the boat. Yeah, so like I said, this was a week later. I think maybe the visibility was even a bit better than previous week. At least, like I said, I think the boat captain commented on this day how clear it was. And I asked him if this was normal. He said, no, it's usually not this good, so came at the right time. Oh, there's the wreck. All right. There I am. You can hear that. That's me pumping some air into my BCD. There's a little more. Yeah, some of them folks are still pretty high up there. I think somebody here told me to hover. Is that coming up, or did I make that up? Maybe that was the first wreck dive. Or no. Yeah, right there. I think that's an instructor, and I don't understand why he told me to do that. I think he's telling me to hover as if I was hitting the bottom. Maybe he thought I was going to hit the bottom. I did not hit the bottom. I don't know what that was about. Or maybe he wanted me to come up to his level. I don't know. A little confused on that one. It's not like we got a fragile bottom here anyway. It's just sand, so I mean you don't want to fall and smash into the bottom, but I wasn't doing that, so I don't know. Very confused about that. Maybe the Europeans got different hand signals for different things. Wouldn't surprise me. It seems like everything to do with diving is different in America than overseas. Alright. Yeah, there's a German girl with her camera. I do forget her name, if I ever knew it. But she was off on her own again, minding her own. It was kind of comical. I think I got a little bit of footage of her just swimming off and louder trying to get her attention. I think it was worse the first dive though, but here we are back on the wreck. Of the 4 dives, this was probably my favorite one. Like I said, just in terms of the sheer quantity of biomass that we're not really seeing right now, but it is coming up. There's a bunch of fish. It's a big section of the boat. Yeah, look at all those fish. A lot of fish down there too. Fish everywhere. Yeah, I am surprised, maybe you saw in the previous video, how close we were diving to fishermen. I don't think that would fly in the United States. I can't recall a time ever diving that close to fishermen. I want no part of a fishing hook. Especially the fisherman thinks he's got something big or he's going to be pulling it, try to loosen it up, and it's just going to be gashing you. It'd be terrible. You have to pull out that knife real quick and cut it. That would not be a pleasant experience. Uh-oh. Yep, I think that's Lauda chasing the German girl. Yep. Come over here. Where are you going? Stick with the group. Yeah, the flashlight and the noisemaker just weren't doing it. I think Laura needs a harpoon gun, but or a spear, like a trident. Do her best Poseidon impression and just throw that thing at somebody. All right. Yeah, this was a cool. All right, this was the swim through. But pretty cool in here. Not by any means the most intense swim through I've ever done. That honor goes to probably the pinnacle dive of my career, Devil's Throat in Cozumel, Mexico. That was an intense dive. I do have that footage buried on my channel somewhere. That was just before I started doing commentary, so you're not going to hear me talk about it, which I know just changed your mind. You're not going to want to watch it now. If you can't hear me talk about it, what's the point, right? Yeah, that was a good swim. But one of the big things about the Devil's Throat in Cozumel was it was a negative, what did we call it? Negative buoyancy entry, I think is what she called it. Which means as soon as you hit the water, you gotta vent your BCD and go down. There's no, normally you jump in the water and everybody gathers in a circle and you good. Okay, everybody ready? Let's go down. This was, you hit the water and you go down. There's no waiting around on the surface, and the reason for that was the currents. If you don't go down immediately, the current will sweep you away from the dive site, and that's the end. And somebody was intently looking for something. Oh, it might have been that eel. Hold Hold on, I gotta check the name of this eel. Oh no. I don't have my browser open. Hold on. Yeah, there is a eel. I think he found it. She found it. He found it. I do apologize. I don't remember the name of this dive guide. Oh, there's an eel right there. It is. Yeah, I think he flushed it out a little bit. That's a pretty good sized one. That's not the big one I'm thinking of, though, that they've named. That was a nice eel, though. Yeah, let me see if I can look up the name of this eel while I'm... They have it named in their dive spot for the Dori wreck. Here we go. Uh-oh. Okay, not there. I know I read it somewhere on their website, but it's not in the place where I thought. So I think it's called like Manuela or something. Oh, she's pointing me out to blue water. Oh, they're barracuda. I did see a ton of barracudas on. Yeah, there's some barracuda. Not the quantity that I remember. This might have been the first sighting. I think there was a point where we saw like 20 barracuda. Yeah, I guess they kind of hang out in, they just kind of hang out in the, not like on the wreck, but kind of around the wreck. Because she does say that in the dive briefing. Make sure you look towards the blue water. Because that's where you're going to see some things sometimes. That's, you know, the hope is to see like a whale or a dolphin or something. But barracuda are cool too. I've seen one dolphin underwater. It was in Hawaii. It was a thrill. It was swimming fast. Boy, they can haul. They can move. Our boats are moving pretty good, and they're just sticking right by them, pacing them. Seems like no problem at all. It's just, man, I wish I could swim like that. Look at all this fish in there. Whew. Found themselves a nice hidey spot. Until I shine my light in there, blow up their world. Not quite as hidden as you think, huh? And the dive guys are always looking for all the small things. There goes German girl. And she's off. No, I'm kidding. She's still pretty close there. Oh, nope. Time to cut. No. Sound and the light. Come back. Come back. Where are you going? Yeah, I'm curious what kind of dives she's done before. She said she's dove a lot in... what's the area of the world called? Yeah, what's my air? So I'm trying to think. Okay, how do I turn this PSI into bars? Okay, I gave her something that she liked. I don't know. Yeah, German girl said she's dove like in Thailand, Indonesia, those kinds of areas. Man, I'm drawing a blank on what that part of the world was called. Something China? Can't think of it. I'm sure I will as soon as the microphone cuts off. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe those are more independent dives because she had a real problem sticking with the group, it seems. I don't know. All the dives I've ever done, especially like this, in foreign environments, are stick with a group. There's Yano sauce coming at you. All right, there's the barracuda. Look at all those barracuda. That's more than I've ever seen in one place. Of course, I'm not getting a great. Yeah, look at all those. Wow. Man, if they swarm me like piranhas, we'd be in trouble. That was at least 20 of them, probably 30 of them. I have to go back and pause it and do some counting. And those are just the ones we were seeing. None of those are overly big, it doesn't look like. I hope those are barracuda. I don't know. I'll be embarrassed if they're not. I'm pretty sure those are barracuda. Not that. That's not a barracuda. That's a tire. Yeah, I'm curious how a tire got down here. I don't know. It was a cargo ship. They probably had a few tires on it. And it's buried in there. I can't imagine that came after the wreck, but who knows? Who knows? But as a dive guide, they're also good at swimming on their back like that, kind of at a, I don't know, 35-degree angle, floating, even swimming backwards, checking on everybody. Oh, there's the ray. Yeah. That might be the same one we saw a week ago. It looks exactly the same to me. Did we see him twice? I thought we saw a ray, 2 rays on one dive. I thought that was the first Dori wreck dive I did. Maybe I just don't have film of that. I don't know. Yeah, just look at all these fish. Just incredible. Open ocean. So many of them. Just so much life surrounding this wreck. Really is cool. This is what does it diving for me. This is all I ever wanted when I started diving. See stuff like this. I didn't want to turn it into a extreme thing, some kind of Red Bull extreme sport. Yeah, my cousin's always trying to get me to do side mount with him, and oh yeah, she was taking a picture. I got to the party late on that. And they're going down deep and like switching air mixtures and doing mandatory decompression, and I don't know. Seeing stuff like this is just telling me to drop down a little bit. Yeah, we're swimming through that again. My first time through this, I had to drop down. I don't know what it is about this part of the wreck where I'm just like, alright, going up. I guess I like maintaining a healthy 10 feet above the bottom or so. Because I do have my gauge cluster there dangling. I am cognizant of that. If I feel like I'm buzzing over something, giving it a haircut, I do try to tuck up my gauge cluster. Because you don't want anything scraping on anything, getting caught, and who knows what. But yeah, this was my second swim through, so of this particular area. Yeah, so we went to the bow this time, I'm pretty sure. That first swim through, where I started talking about Devil's Throat, that was towards the bow of the ship, I do believe. We did not see the propeller this time, so no stern. And Laura, she was she was like falling all over herself, apologizing, like, "Oh, we're going to the Dori wreck again. I'm sorry. I know you already went there." And I was like, "Laura, it's fine. First of all, you never know what you're gonna see. You know, I feel like we saw a lot more fish this time. And secondly, this is only my second time diving it. You know, I'm not gonna be disappointed. I promise. I've been diving same mermet stuff for 5 years now, 6 years." And it's like, yeah, I keep going back, you know. You're not going to see a whole lot of variety in mermaid. Yeah, I don't know what you was showing me. I guess the stuff like growing upside down. I guess that's pretty cool. Yeah, I don't know why it'd be growing upside down, but it is. I think that's what she was showing me. I don't think there was like an animal under there. Wild. How did it get there? I guess it's not chasing the sunlight if it's growing in the dark places. Yeah, I would have loved to do a night dive on this wreck. I bet that'd be cool. I've never done a night dive in the ocean, unfortunately. We were scheduled to in Cozumel, but the weather did not cooperate. The seas were too choppy, and they did not let us go out. And, you know, the one bad thing about a night dive is you cannot crack a fresh one all day. Trust me, in Arkansas, that's really hard because, well, it's Arkansas. And the night diving at Bull Shoals is, I'll call it less than spectacular. You gotta wait, especially when everybody else is gathering on top of the houseboat. They got theirs, and you're like, nah. What was she showing me there? Ray? Yeah, I'm still not sure. I'm not sure what she was trying to show me there. No, when she flaps her wing, or when she flaps her arms like a bird, that's a symbol for Ray. That's not what she did there. I can't remember what she said that was a symbol for. But pretty sure I missed it regardless. I don't think it was great white shark. I didn't see that. Yeah, this again, I think it was just me and her at this point. They did send the people low on air back with other divers, and I don't see anybody else around, so yeah. Laura giving me a personalized tour of Dori wreck. Very nice. There's one of those parrotfish again. Yeah, I don't see a whole lot of swim through opportunities on this boat. I'm not fitting through there. They warned us, don't do it. I guess maybe you could kind of go in there, the big hole there, maybe get in here. Yeah, all right, I see that. Now I will say I get a little nervous when I got closed space above my head. I don't have a lot of experience diving in enclosed spaces. And technically I am certified to do it. Look at that parrotfish. I think I turned my light on here. I hope I do. Bam, yeah. See those colors pop. Yeah, that was nice. Bright red. That one, oh, the actual, that was perfect portrait. I wish I'd said it 2 seconds ago. That parrotfish and the colorful one swimming next to it. Those are the two fish that, as far as I know, I've never seen anywhere else. So yeah, they're just fish everywhere. Man, look at all those fish. I was blown away. This is spectacular. This is top 5 dive of all time for me, I'd say. I don't know what was better. Well, like Devil's Throat, that was just in terms of the dive itself. That was swimming through enclosed spaces, and then the throat part is like a... What's she showing me here? I don't know. The throat part is like you go down head first vertically into this column for probably like 15-20 feet. And I mean, that's a little unnerving, you know. You're inverted, you're swimming down through an enclosed space. It's like, man, if I have a problem right now, I might have a serious problem. But then you kind of pop out in open ocean. And that's like 100, that's the deepest I've ever been to, I think. That was 127 feet down. That was just... I can't believe she took us on that. At the time, we were all still open water, well, advanced open water, but yeah, I don't think the guy who taught me would appreciate all the enclosed space diving that entailed. It was awesome, though. That's #1 dive, still to this day, of all time. Was Devil's Throat in Cozumel, Mexico. But this has got to be top 5 for sure. I'm trying to think. Catalina Island off the coast of California was incredible. That's still my first and only time diving in a kelp forest, and that was a whole experience on its own. You can get lost in there. It's pretty thick, pretty dense. You gotta stick together there. And the kelp are just, they're just awesome. They anchor on the ground, and then they grow these, you know, they grow out, and I'll call them leaves, I guess, even though I know that's not what they actually are. But, man, look at all those fish. Wow. Just surrounding that mast. Yeah, she was even just checking that out. That's just incredible. But the kelp, they grow these little air pockets, and that's what keeps them straight up in the water. It's like, how do they do that? I don't know. Yeah, they have no structure. They have no, like, woody structure, as far as I know, that keeps them sturdy. It's these little balls of air pockets they have, and that's what gets them floating up. And it was just... I discovered that when I was there, and it was just really cool. Man. It's just so peaceful looking at that. Fortunately, the colors are not popping. Yeah, I don't mess with color correction. Maybe it's just too much work. How much air do I have left? I just made up some bar number. Something to make her happy. 80, 90. Nah, I was good on there. I think I finished this dive with 800 or so, which is plenty. Usually in dives like this, although at this point, this is my 4th dive with her now, she kind of knew me. But I've been on dive boats before where they're like, if you don't come back with 1,000, we're not letting you go on the 2nd dive. It's like, geez. I mean, I get it. They got a CYA, but you know, that's a 30-year tank. You can get a lot more diving in with that much air. So, one of the highlights of this dive is coming up. I found it. I spotted it. I want you to know that. Only because it moved. Is this it? Yeah, this is it. Found ourselves a little flounder. Can you see it? Can you see it? Can you see it? I saw it move off camera, so I knew it was there. And I pointed it out to Laura, and now she got her light on it. Look how camouflaged that thing is. It's just incredible. Perfect. It's absolutely perfect. You can just see its 2 little eyes sticking up. Can you see it yet? The flounder are just incredible. They are born, as far as I know, with eyes on both sides of their head like a normal fish. There he goes. You better be able to see it now. Look at how camouflaged that thing is. And I've seen flounder in Caribbean, and they don't look like this. Unless... See, the flounder I've seen in the Caribbean are white. And they match the white bottom sand. And this is like a grayish or a browner sand color, and that thing matches it perfectly. I don't know if that's... if they can change their skin like, you know, octopus and animals like that, or... That was a tiny one. That is the smallest flounder I've ever seen. But as far as I know, they're born with eyes on both sides of their heads like normal fish, and one of the eyes migrates to the other side of the head during their life. And 2 things I don't know about that. I don't know how long it takes, because that flounder looked tiny to me. That thing was probably 10 inches, would be my guess, maybe even less than that. And it already had eyes on one side of its head. So it must happen pretty quickly after they're born. And 2, I have no idea if it's always the same eye that goes to the other side of the head or if it's mismatched. Alright, here we go. This was incredible. I've never seen anything like this. Look at this guy. He's like, and Laura's practicing it, they like catch air out of their exhale, out of their exhaust, and he can make a bubble ring out of that. I have no idea how he's doing this. I mean, I've seen people blow bubble rings before, which is incredible in itself. But he's just catching air out of his exhaust. Look at that. How is he doing this? I don't even know how he's doing that. Laura's trying. She's gonna get good at it. I don't even know. I don't even see how he's trapping air to even do this. Look at that. It's like, what? How are you doing this? I don't even... Oh. Man, I need to practice that. That was really impressive, though. That was... I just capped off the perfect dive. Just saw a flounder, saw a guy blowing bubble ring, not blowing, like Mortal Kombat, pushing bubble rings. I don't even know what to call that. But all right, that's gonna do it for all my diving in the Azores. I almost didn't go on these second 2 dives because of the schedule. I squeezed it in. I was really glad I got the opportunity. Thanks to the group I was with for allowing me to do this. It was not a short drive to come here, drop me off, pick me up. And just fabulous. Highly recommend diving here. Highly recommend going to the Seasons Challenge. And take care. Everybody waving to me on the dive boat. Hi. Yeah, I wanted to do these videos first because I'm all about diving, but had several other adventures on the island. Feel free to check those out. We did some canyoning, did a little bit of hiking. We did see some volcanic lakes. All awesome. You're gonna want to see it. Y'all take care now.